Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Smriti Rastogi. The Maharaja of the Skies, Air India, is struggling with financial turbulence. The airline owes the creditors 59,000 crore rupees and the government is making all efforts to revive the cash-strapped airline. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has, however, rejected the news reports that say that Air India doesn't have finances to pay the salaries of the staff. The Civil Aviation Minister has asserted that there has been a steady improvement in the finances of the Air India and the airline is all set to make profit during the current financial year. Air India was founded in 1932 as Tata Airlines by J.R.D. Tata. It eventually grew into an international airline owned by the Indian government. Our focus today in depth is the journey of Air India, its present crisis and what are the options for the airlines that are struggling with losses in a difficult market. Air India continues to mount debt. The government is making all efforts to revive the airline. The government is going the disinvestment way to save the cash-strapped national carrier. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said in the Rajya Sabha that the government's plan is to make it operationally viable before disinvesting it.
The Maharaja of the Skies is struggling hard to emerge from a mountain of debts. Air India owes 59,000 crore rupees and the government is making all efforts to revive the cash-strapped airline by disinvestment. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri told the Rajya Sabha on Wednesday that the government is committed to the disinvestment of the national carrier. Replying during question hour, Puri said the government was planning to make it more operationally viable before disinvesting it. Out of the total debt of 59,000 crore rupees, the centre has proposed to retire 29,000 crore rupees to special purpose vehicles.
The government is committed to the privatization of Air India. Let there be no ambiguity on that. Air India is incurring losses, but those losses are being incurred not because it is not a prize asset. It has some excellent assets. It has a fleet of aircraft which travels to 80 destinations, domestically, 45 internationally, but it has over a period of time undertaken debt. And that debt servicing is becoming unsustainable. We are incurring losses of 15 crores a day. Therefore, Air India will have to be disinvested. Our plan is to revive Air India, make it more operationally viable, and then to disinvest it.
The Civil Aviation Minister asserted there has been a steady improvement in the finances of Air India and the airline is set to make profit during the current financial year. Puri also rejected media reports claiming that Air India has no money to pay salaries after October.
There has been a steady improvement in Air India's finances. In fact, it is my expectation that in the next financial year, for the previous financial year which is concluded, the figure will show a loss. But in the current financial year, we are in fact hoping to make a profit. It is customary in situations like this for employees and others who are stakeholders in the process to put pressure on the government. Let me just tell the honourable member that we have increased the Air India profitability it's by 7 crores in revenue per day. We are doing all that we can.
In March last year, the government had invited bids to sell 76% stake in Air India. However, the move failed due to a lack of bidders. The government injected 3,975 crore rupees into the airline in the fiscal year ended 31st March this year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The government is committed to the disinvestment of the national carrier Air India and the plan is to make it more operationally viable before disinvesting it. Let us take a look at the timeline showing the crisis this Maharaja airline went through. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has rejected news reports that Air India does not have finances to pay salaries to staff. What he did not deny is that Air India has an overall debt of 59,000 crore rupees. So how did the airline come to such a pass? The Atal Bihari Vajpayee government wanted Air India and Indian Airlines privatized. The Naresh Chandra committee set up by it suggested that the government should get rid of both airlines and have an autonomous civil aviation regulator instead. When the Manmohan Singh government came to the bar, the report was ignored, and then Aviation Minister Praful Patel pushed for its modernization instead. The Manmohan Singh government bought 111 aircraft for 70,000 crore rupees. Air India bought 50 aircraft from Boeing for 33,197 crore rupees. The idea was to buy all these aircrafts through debt that was to be paid off by generating revenue, which the Comptroller and Auditor General of India called a recipe for disaster. In fact, the CAG said, two losses don't make a profit but a bigger loss. After going through with its large-scale acquisition, UPA government in 2007 decided to merge Air India and Indian Airlines for synergy. The combined Air India-Indian Airlines entity now had a debt of 20,000 crore rupees. In 2011, the UPA allocated an equity of 48,212 crore rupees to Air India to be paid over 20 years ending in 2031 to 32. Not only Air India exhausted 25,000 crore rupees of its turnaround plan, but now had 52,000 crore rupees in losses due to interest payment failure instead of cash surplus in 2017 as was estimated. Meanwhile, CBI has filed an FIR against erstwhile Aviation Minister Praful Patel and others for making purchases that led to losses. It also questioned Air India's irregular leasing of aircraft without adhering to marketing pricing strategy and other key factors. As per the CAG report, between March 2011 and May 2014, losses due to leasing stood at 405.8 crore rupees. Not only leasing, according to the CAG, Air India sold 5 Boeing 777-200 long-range aircraft below its cost price to Etihad, incurring a loss of 671 crore rupees.
It is a very, very difficult situation for Air India. So there has to be a sustained effort from everybody, from the government, which is the owner of Air India, from the management of Air India, from the employees, etc. We all work together and try to find a very good strategic partner in the form of a private sector company. That will be the best solution for Air India. Or government may write off some loans, sell assets and then offset some of the loans. So once the debt on the books of Air India is reduced, it may not be difficult for a private sector company to take it over, run it and probably turn it profitable in a couple of years or maybe 4 or 5 years. So that is the best situation. For that, everybody has to work patiently, and also, you know, aviation is a very competitive sector. ATF prices can go up, come down depending on international crude prices, etc. And also yields are very narrow. It is not that airlines around the world are making huge profits. Everywhere they are always facing competition, and many of them under tremendous pressure. So in such a situation, it is not at all going to be easy to privatize Air India. But if the government tries to do it very seriously, it will be possible to do. The new government has come to power with a huge mandate and they have got 5 years to go. So that is a good enough period for the government to give it a very serious try.
The Vision 2040 report for the civil aviation industry has endorsed privatizing Air India. It pointed out that the purchase of Air India by a strong investor group is critical for India to achieve global hub status. The document also added that despite the government's significant efforts, the much delayed privatization of Air India will lead to mounting losses for the airline in financial year 2019. With inputs from Vipul Agrawal, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Slip into a very quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Founded by visionary and the father of the Indian aviation, J.R.D. Tata, Air India was born with his flight in a single engine from Karachi to Mumbai. Since then, Air India has come a long way, both in terms of fleet size as well as passengers moved, and is known for its reliability, cost-effective and value-for-money service. Let's have a look at its journey.
Air India was founded in 1932 as Tata Airlines by J.R.D. Tata. It eventually grew into an international airline owned by the Indian government. It was first established as Tata Air Services and was based out of a small place at the Juhu airstrip in Mumbai. The first scheduled service was inaugurated in 1932 by J.R.D. Tata, flying mail and passengers from Karachi to Mumbai via Ahmedabad. In its very first year of operation, Tata Air Services went on to fly 257,495 kilometers, carrying 155 passengers and transporting over 10 tons of mail. By 1939, routes had been extended to Trivandrum, Chennai, Delhi, Colombo, Lahore and other intermediate points. After the Second World War in 1946, Tata Airlines was converted into a public company and renamed as Air India Limited. In 1948, to inaugurate international services between Mumbai and London via Cairo and Geneva, Air India International Limited was formed. This was Air India's first international venture. The Air Corporations Act 1953 nationalized all air transports and provided for the establishment of air corporations to facilitate the acquisition of existing airline companies and to make better provisions for the operations of air transport services in the country. This led to the creation of two corporations, one for domestic service called Indian Airlines Corporation and one for international service, Air India International Corporation. JRD was appointed the company's first chairman. In the following decades, as India's flagship carrier, Air India extended its international routes to all continents and expanded its cargo operations as well. In 1962, Air India became the first airline in the world to own a fleet exclusively of jet aircraft, setting the benchmark for innovation and quality service. To gain a competitive advantage in computerized reservation searches, the airline removed the hyphen from its name in 2005 to become Air India. In 1990, Air India, in association with Indian Airlines and the Indian Air Force, created a world record by evacuating 111,000 people from Amman in Jordan to Mumbai in 59 days just before the Gulf War broke out in the Middle East. This was the largest evacuation effort by a single civilian airline. Air India pioneered the country's aviation sector, and its history is synonymous with the history of civil aviation in India. Now that the government is planning the airline's disinvestment, one hopes that whoever takes it over will be able to steer it back to its former position of glory in the global airline industry. With inputs from Astha Kulshresht, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Other than Air India, there are at least 12 airlines that have run out of fuel in the last 21 years. In spite of Indian Skies seeing tremendous passengers growth. Here's a detailed report on what are the possible reasons behind shutting off the airlines. After flying for 25 years, on April 17, 2019, Jet Airways announced cancellation of all their flights due to lack of funds. The decision was made after lenders declined 400 crore rupees lifeline, putting 20,000 people out of job, and dues worth thousands of crores for passenger refunds, vendors, and over 8,500 crore rupees to banks. Founded by Naresh Goyal, the full-service carrier served tens of millions of passengers for over 2.5 decades, before becoming the 7th domestic carrier to shut operations in the past 5 years. The Jet Airways crisis is a stark reminder of the fate of Kingfisher Airlines, which met in 2012. In a similar fashion, the now defunct airlines posted losses, struggled to pay salaries, and had a huge debt pile, which ultimately led to its complete closure. Captain Gopinath founded Air Deccan, India's first budget airline, was bought by Kingfisher in 2007 and the latter was shut down in 2012. Air Sahara was bought by Jet in the same year as Deccan and now Jet has shut its operations. Another airline, SpiceJet, is facing a massive shortage of aircraft but is planning to lease 30 Boeing 737 next generation planes that were earlier operated by Jet Airways on short-term leases. Another budget airline, Indigo, is facing a dearth of pilots. Even though the airline is expanding its fleet, it faces the huge challenge of tiding over the existing crisis in the cockpit. According to the CAPA research, the country has over 7,963 pilots and will require an additional 17,000 pilots in the next 10 years, of which 9,000 first officers will be upgraded to commanders. Indigo currently has 3,100 pilots on its payroll. That number is 38% of all the pilots recruited by domestic airlines. It has over 1,250 captains, which effectively constitutes for over 31% of the 4,000 commanders in service. But in order to meet its demands for overseas flight path, the airline needs more pilots, co-pilots and commanders to handle operations.
There was a time when only Indian Airlines and Air India were the two main operating airlines in India. So it was a situation where there wasn't much competition. But once the sector was opened to private companies, so many of these companies came into the sector and the market started booming, aviation market started growing. But with that, competition has also been growing. So you have also seen earlier how Sahara Airlines was bought over by Jet Airways. Air Deccan was bought over by Kingfisher. Ultimately, then Kingfisher closed down and Jet Airways has also closed down. So competition is very tough. And then the service model has changed from full service model which was existing then. Now people have come down to the low cost model, and the way in which tickets are sold, that is also changing. The way in which passengers treat this airline service, that is also changing. So with the competition and so many changes happening, it is not very easy for travel companies also, for hotel companies also. There is so much competition now because the entire business model is undergoing a constant change.
But the question is, what are the reasons behind the grounding of so many airlines despite steady rise in traffic? Airlines in India operate in a cost-hostile environment. Jet fuel for domestic flights is among the priciest in India on a global scale due to steep taxation. A crippling shortage of infrastructure adds to problems as airports like Delhi, Mumbai and Bengaluru and even smaller ones have choked terminals and find it hard to accommodate more flights. Plus, intense competition and the race for market shares has led to airlines offering below-cost fares, which has led to a situation of profitless growth. A lot of the questions around the revival of domestic airlines remains unanswered as government itself is trying to find solution of bringing Air India out of its huge debt crisis. With inputs from Astha Kulshresht, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of In Depth. Thank you for watching.